Good morning, guys. Armand Cool Trading Tools here today. We're gonna do a little bit of a shorter video today. Go over a lesson of how to handle choppy trading markets, as some might call them, and what to do in this situation, and just kind of go over what we're watching going into this weekend today. So I'm gonna keep it a shorter video, a little bit shorter format. So I'll try my best because I tend to ramble, but so, no doubt about it. Last week we had some weak price action. If you look at these weekly candles after large run ups on the NASDAQ and on the semiconductors, I think that's pretty expected. And it wouldn't surprise me if we have a little bit more consolidation underway. We'll see what happens on that. We're gapping up right now off of, like the 200 ceasefire that we've had. It's not really, you can be aware of it, but don't base any trades really around it unless somebody says they're dropping a nuke or something. Don't think too much about that because we're gapping up, fading off, and this changes like literally by the day sometimes, the ceasefire. So just something to be aware. Last time we gapped up, we faded off. We've been making moves up and people have been selling into the pop. So we'll see if that happens today. I think we watched this little box of price action here and we kind of see how things shape up. Now, this being said, this is where I think the lesson comes into is when the markets start to get into this range like that, it really becomes the traders who do the most research this market because they'll become pockets of strength and pockets of weakness. So, for example, semiconductors are been on a huge run. If you're looking for a short, for example, that's where I'd be looking today. I still think we have weakness coming in on these names is very likely. So if you're looking for a short, you would want to be watching semiconductors. So that's a specific sector that's showing weakness during the market choppiness. And I'll be watching that. I'll be playing it via SOXL just to keep it simple. It's still giving great volatility, and we can watch to see if we break down further and this, today or even tomorrow. But that being said, if you look at other sectors like XBI, um, or data centers. So this is the biotech sector. You have names like MRNA, which is now on a daily uptrend, weekly uptrend, and even a monthly uptrend. It's getting a little extended. This isn't anything new, but this is a stock that's been beaten down ever since the COVID era, and it's showing strength on multiple time frames and uptrends now. So that's showing strength. Data centers last week, despite the market weakness, showing strength. FCEL gapping up again today. I'm watching it. It's a little bit two things from the market's gapped up, which I don't like buying gap ups when the market gets chopped up. So I think we wait for a pullback on this. And this is also gapping up 10%. We can wait for a pullback on this one for an entry, but that's showing relative strength. This is the data center play. Hut data center play, relative strength last week. This one not gapping up as much. I think we can watch for like a red to green failure or dip red, come back after the market pulls up back. So this is just an example. If you're looking into bearish, when the market gets like this, right? You can be looking into bearish sectors. It depends on your research. So the key is volatility. Do we have the volatility? Okay. Then we can play sectors in both directions, right? SMH, weak sector, Soxel, and a lot of these names still giving great volatility. Data centers, biotechs, good volatility and to the upside. So you can pick your sectors, and it's just about kind of researching, understanding where is the market money coming into, and then finding viable trades within those sectors here. So another one I'm watching here, we've been watching this for a while. It's still giving good volatility. SpaceX has found some support around this 150 area. I think there's room for a bounce for sure. I've gone over this a few times. What do we look for when we want the daily change direction? We looked for the hourly trend change here to the downside. Now it's the reverse. We're looking for the daily bounce to get started. What are we looking for? The hourly trend change to the upside, and that's a signal. And we look for our momentum patterns on the 5-minute chart to capitalize on entries to get in on the hourly trend for change for the daily bounce, right? So it's using multiple time frames to our advantage. Idea, daily bounce. Trigger that we're looking for, hourly trend change. Entry, we're using momentum patterns on the 5-minute chart, and that's how we kind of get from the small time frame to the large frame ideas where it's like we have a bigger idea, but how do we get in a good location that gives us a good risk reward? We use the 5-minute chart. So I think this one is definitely worth watching still for the bounce. FCEL, HUT, MRNA, all valid for longs. And I think for the short side, you still want to be focusing on these semiconductors. They're the weakest sector. And via Soxel and some of these other names, I think there's breakdowns that we can look for. So awesome, guys. That's the plan for the day going into the week. Be open-minded and yeah, have a good week, guys.